The human voice. It's the instrument we all play. It's the most powerful sound in the world, probably. It's the only one that can start a war or say, I love you. And yet many people have the experience that when they speak, people don't listen to them. Why is that?
Welcome to the No Filter Friday podcast. This is episode 4. We're really happy that you've joined us this evening, and I hope you've had a good week. And as usual, we have our fantastic panel of people here to provide you with as much info as we can on this podcast. So we have Maddie,
Woo!
Sterling, and Gumby on the end there. So we're really happy to do episode 4. We didn't know we'd get past episode 1, but we're on episode 4, so we're doing well.
How far we've come.
Yeah, we've come pretty far. So hope you enjoyed the intro as well. We want to try and mix it up for you guys and hope you enjoyed that. And as you know, this podcast is basically an unfiltered look at life and the world and God in 2020. And tonight's we've got an amazing sponsor tonight. Tonight's sponsor is someone who you might know pretty well. He's on the panel over there, and he's got his own amazing business. So tonight's sponsor is Gumby Skateboards.
Yeah.
Gumby Skateboards has been a well-loved local business in the North Richmond area for the past couple of years. And Gumby Skateboard motto is, if you want to send it with a Gumby skateboard. If you want to get a Gumby skateboard, you can call him on 1-800 Gumby Skateboards now.
And I got to tell you, it is a great skateboard.
It is.
Great deal as well.
Cheers,
We're
mate.
offering 50% off. Visit now.
50% off for the first 5 callers. Do it now. All right. So we're going to start off with our regular segment, which is the Week in Review. But if you haven't done it already, make sure you like and follow and subscribe to our YouTube, Instagram and Facebook pages, and we really appreciate all your support with that. So, starting off number 1, our Week in Review, we'll start off with Gumby, and why don't we start and see what caught your eye this week?
Very good, very good. So I had a bit of a scrounge around on the web. Came across a pretty interesting story about. It's titled "Hungry Rats Turn to Cannibalism and Form Rat Armies." So basically, what's happened, because all the restaurants in big cities like in New York and all sorts of different cities in America, and I would assume other countries too, but this one's in America, basically these rats are just going nuts because like their entire food source is from like just scraps from restaurants and stuff. And then suddenly all the restaurants all over the whole country just all stopped at the same time. And then so these rats are like just going nuts, like, and they're just forming, like, it's funny reading it. They're forming these like rat armies, and yeah, it's informed by what I didn't even know existed. It's like a scientist, but it's called a rodentologist. How's that for a job?
Wow, that's something would look good on your resume.
I did a degree in rodentology. Yeah, but it's nuts. Like, even to the point where, like, you know, rats are like little rat gangs, and like they'll come into an area, and it's like describing how like whatever rat like gang has like the biggest and toughest rats, like, is the one that's going to take over that area. Like,
Rat Pack.
Like, or even like eating other rats and stuff.
That's a good one.
What would a rat gang be called? You know?
Rat Pack.
The Rat Pack.
Yeah.
The Rat Pack.
You been taking out scraps, fool?
I wonder if there'd be like the Bloods and the Crips, like, you know, the West Side and the East Side rat gangs.
Something like that.
I wouldn't mess with the West Side rats. They'd be
Yeah.
nasty.
Park and Biggie, yeah.
And there's like footage of like this guy's describing how there's footage coming out of like, in his words, like more than a dozen rats patrolling a deserted suburban street.
They got baseball bats and everything. Bandanas on.
You're going down the wrong alley, boy.
It's crazy. And it even sounds like the language they use sounds like they're talking about normal crime. Like there's sort of rodent control like committees are saying like, we're seeing in some places elevated activity, and that's why we're here. Like, crazy.
Wow, that's
man.
crazy.
They're giving the alley cats a run for their money now.
There's just so many of them. Yeah, that's awesome. Well, that's an awesome story, Matty, and hopefully that doesn't end up in Sydney. Hopefully we can get on top of the Aussie crime gangs in the rat communities, and
that'll be the
send in some
gangs of
rat
bin
elders
chickens.
and make sure that they stop any
bin chickens.
What are those bin,
Any
what are those
bin
ibises,
chickens
that's
or-
what they're called.
Yeah.
the ibis. Yeah, Sterling, what did you find this week?
Well, I've been watching some good old conspiracy theories. Love them. But I found one.
Stuff.
So if you own AirPods, there's a new update on the phone where it's like this listening update. So basically, if you leave your room, if you leave the room with your phone in a different room and you have your AirPods connected still and it's still within range, you can activate the phone so you can listen to what people are saying in that room. Yeah, I'm like, you want to find out some dirt on like your parents or something? Like this is gonna change the game. I saw it and it legit works. So
Wow.
a YouTuber did it and I was like, wowzers, that's dangerous.
That's very dangerous.
I want to
Imagine-
try it.
Okay, so for the people watching at home, we're not condoning this whatsoever. But if you had to do it as part of work or school, where would be a time where you think that would be a very good advantage to have that technology?
Ooh. Oh, that's tricky. Like so many opportunities I would take
I
to use
mean,
it.
I guess you put it in a staff room, I would imagine, and then use all the blackmail dirt that you get from the staff room to blackmail your teachers into getting good marks.
Ah, that's a really good
Yeah.
idea.
It's very
Not that
dark.
we're condoning that,
You don't
No.
condone
but if you were
spying.
to leave it in the staff room,
Yeah.
I would just think if you were with those people, you'd have to do something to like even like provoke them a little bit before you left the room, so you can get like an even juicier dirt on them.
See you later, losers.
so poke
I know
the
what you say
bear.
about me.
I hate what you're wearing today. You look terrible, and then just leave your phone and
See you
walk
later.
out, and then sit there and
Set
put
it
your
all
AirPods
up.
in and sit there.
Expose it.
Yeah, that's right.
Hashtag cancel culture.
Or if you went for a job interview, you could leave the phone in and
true.
like, just go out and go, especially if there's two people who interview you. You
Yeah.
can listen and see what they think.
Wow.
It's like when you come out of an interview and you're like, yeah, I think I did really well.
Yeah, and they're like,
They're like,
was
we
the-
hate him.
yeah, he's like, and they're like, oh, don't call us, we'll call you. And then they're like, that was the worst guy I've ever interviewed. Hope he doesn't come
We
back.
won't be
Did you
calling
see his earpods? Oh my god!
Yeah, that's right. Who wears earpods to an interview? And he's got the old iPhone. He's got the new iPhone, but anyway. Yeah, so that's awesome. Yeah, so that's very interesting.
Don't try this at
Don't
home.
try this at home, and
Oh, man.
you did not get the idea from us. Maddie,
Yes.
what did you find interesting this week?
Oh look, I'm trying to grow a little bit of a beard here, as you might be able
And
to
it's
see.
looking absolutely majestic right now.
Breathtaking.
Thank you. Breathtaking. Wow. Wow. Well, it's about to look a whole lot more breathtaking because I've gone into in-depth research on like different. There's like a beard grooming community.
I've seen it, yeah.
And, like, I didn't know how like serious it is. Like you can get like bristle brushes to brush your beard,
Oils.
oils, shampoos. You can get like little balms or butters just to make it
Goodness
shimmer
me.
and smell like sandalwood. That's a that's a smell. So,
I love sandalwood.
but so I'm like, so I went and ordered a pack. It still hasn't come yet because obviously Australia Post is
Is it coming from China?
no New Zealand I think.
Oh, that's
They
right.
sent me
Yeah,
a
New Zealand's
thing.
in total lockdown this week.
Yeah, so
Oh, you'll get it next year, bro. Sorry, eh?
they,
Growing the beard.
yeah,
It's gonna be a long one.
they called me a legend. They go, "You're a legend, bro." In the email, like, "You're a legend. Thanks for that. You're not going to get your product though." But so I'm keen to use my bristle board brush on my
so
on my
good.
beard. But it makes me think. Do you guys have any like man care things that you use? Are you enthusiasts or are you just nah?
I mean, well, my look is kind of like you look like you smell like a certain illicit substance and live on the North Shore. So not much care is needed to go into that.
True.
So, I
Yeah,
don't
no,
know.
true. I get that.
Yeah, I feel like you understand a similar look, yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean,
So not much mate.
Yeah,
Like,
I just meant I've been worried about it. I've been praying for you.
oh, damn! They always pull
For
me up.
those
to
of
the
you
airport.
watching at home, Sterling does not smell bad. Okay.
No, I don't. I don't. Josh Main came up to me once, and he, and he goes, and I was like, and he's like, Savage? And I was like, what? He knew exactly what
Classic.
cologne I was wearing, and at that stage, I was given that cologne as like a gift, so I didn't know it was pronounced Savage. I thought it was Savage. I was like, what? It's Savage, but yeah.
Yeah, to
It's
be.
a savage.
Does that's actually a good segue question. What cologne does everyone like to wear here?
Well, I don't know. If I wear cologne, it's David Beckham.
Oh,
Yeah.
David Beckham.
David Beckham.
That's about right.
You're right. What about you, Gumby?
Probably Nautica Voyage. That's a good one.
Oh, Nautica, yeah.
Yeah, bro.
I like yeah, bruh. Yeah, I like Hugo Boss. I've tried a few different ones, but I'm a bit of a boss man, so yeah. Anyway, so my week, I found a very interesting story. You've probably seen it on the news, and you've probably seen a lot on social media and stuff like that. But because of the restrictions and the isolation that we're facing at the moment, a lot of people have been really frustrated with the fact that they can't go out, they can't get dressed up, they can't do their beard nice and put on a nice outfit and put on
sandalwood.
some cologne and go out and go to a club, go to a pub, go to a party, whatever. So there's this new thing, and it actually started in Australia, so go Australia. In North Queensland, this lady was just frustrated, and she decided, you know what, I'm going to get dressed up and go out and put the bins out. And obviously most people put their bins out at the same time every night. And I'm going to wear a cool outfit and see what happens. And so she's done it, and one of her neighbours has taken a photo, and they've started a Facebook group, and it's now escalated all around the world to people wearing Marvel costumes, Halloween costumes, formal costumes, and yeah, people are just getting dressed up, and then they're meeting their neighbours where they put the bins out, saying g'day, and making sure they keep the right distance. And yeah, I thought that was really, really interesting that it started in Australia and it's now gone all over the world.
What would you guys wear if you were into that?
Onesie,
Uh-oh.
for sure.
A onesie? What kind of onesie though?
I've got like a Looney Tunes onesie at home.
Nice.
Pretty dirty though.
Yeah, not surprising.
Looks like I wore it out.
Did you buy it or did you find it?
I bought it. I bought it from Kmart.
That's all right.
Did you find it?
You said it was dirty.
Stole from
Found
the
it on
Rat
the ground.
Pack.
Well, it's only got 2 holes and it's fine.
What would you wear, Stel?
Oh, that's a good question.
Knowing full well that obviously the photo is going to go online and
Oh, well, I'd probably want it to be a little bit controversial then. So
True.
nothing too crazy, but like I'd probably wear something a little bit outrageous. Thinking of my wardrobe right now, nothing is quite out there. But if I didn't have time to prepare, probably just a dressing gown.
cool.
Yeah. Yeah, nice.
What about you, Maddie?
I don't know, I'd probably represent my fellow rats. And have represent the rat gang. The rat bags.
The rat bags.
Walk out of the
yeah.
big-
Just wearing
rat.
plastic bags.
Just a plastic
They're
bag.
caught in the wind.
With some cheese dangling from my ears or something.
Ah. Yeah, that's
Taking the
that's
trash
nasty.
out.
Yeah, I don't know what I'd wear. I'd probably think of something really crazy, like something that would just shock everyone, because that would be funny.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, it would be pretty funny to put on like my wedding tux and just put that on and just spin people out and get all dressed up and, shave and do everything and just go out there and put it, and get a photo next to the bin in the cul-de-sac and in front of everyone. I thought that'd be
Or
pretty
just
funny.
just dress as another bin and just sit next to the other bins.
Yes.
Oh, and you can
Start your own
spook
bin.
people.
Walk out there and just sit there for ages.
I reckon you'd look good in a top hat though.
Yeah, I actually do have a
have
top
you?
hat at home because I went to an 80s themed rock and roll party and I went as Slash. So I bought a top hat to go as Slash and I had the wig and everything. So yeah, maybe a top hat.
You need to bring that in one day.
I will.
Yes.
Future weeks. The top hat will be making
Stay tuned.
an appearance on the No Filter Friday podcast. All right, so we're going to go into our next segment, which is our TV and movie review. And I've got a little one to share. Does any of you guys have anything to share with any TV shows or movies you'd like to share?
Well, I've been actually not watching, surprisingly, as much Netflix and Stan as most people. But
Excellent.
I did come across this sport. I think it's been around for a while. And as most of you would know, I like skateboarding. And there's a new sport in the X Games called skatercross. And it's like, what is it like? I guess it's like motocross, pretty much. But they build a track, like a skate park track kind of thing, and skaters like race, and like in the heats they have like the little sort of like, I don't know what you call it, like a wall where all their bikes line up at the start, but they have like handles for this one, and then they just pump down on the skate parks, and there's like two dudes just full on going super fast around this thing, and then so basically it's like races of like one person against the other person, and then like a few heats in, it's like three people in like the semi-finals or something, and the first time that they did that, they came around this massive berm and all just crashed. It just didn't work at all. There's like a line on this huge wooden berm that's like you have to stay in your lane, and then everyone just it was just mayhem. But yeah, it's pretty awesome
That's cool.
because you don't see a lot of that like skateboarding and racing, which is different. Yeah.
Oh, that's really, I definitely want to check that out. Anyone else? No?
I mean, I'm just devastated that all the Marvel movies are pushed back. They're all delayed. So Phase 4, where is it, you know?
Well, yeah, it sounds like 2021 is going to be the whole new Phase 4. Yeah, I was really looking forward to a whole bunch of movies that were supposed to come out, like the new Bond movie and the new Venom movie, and there's a whole bunch of new movies that were coming out. But yeah, unfortunately, they need to make their money, so they're all going to be pushed back to after COVID-19's over. I saw a really cool TV show on Netflix. We're not sponsored, so I'm just letting you guys know. Called The Last Dance, and it's a documentary about the last season that Michael Jordan played for the Chicago Bulls, and I found it really, really interesting. I've obviously been a basketball fan and a MJ fan for quite a few years now, and I've seen a lot of footage of him before, but this one, they basically had cameras in for that last year, and a lot of the footage hadn't been shown before, so it was really, really interesting. And all the players that are involved, they actually have quite in-depth conversations with. So if you're into sport or into basketball or anything like that, highly recommend it. It's really, really cool. Welcome to segment number 3, and we're going to do our life hack segment, which is always kicked off by our good friend Maddie, who loves a good life hack. So, Maddie, what have you got for us this week?
I do love a good life hack, Dave. I must tell you.
A good hike.
I really do.
Yeah.
Well, for this one, it takes a little bit of skill for this one, okay?
Ooh.
So I definitely can't do it because it kind of, you need to learn a little bit of another language, okay?
Is that really
only a little bit though, okay? And this life hack, because people, it's really awkward.
Sounds like it's
I can say Ohayou gozaimasu in Japanese.
Yes, that's around the idea of thinking. So it's basically everyone hates, or it's awkward, like when you can't remember someone's name when you've just met someone, and you're like, oh man, I wish I could get them to say their name. Well, if you learn, you can do it in whatever language, bar the English, the language that they speak. You can say, hey, I can teach you how to introduce yourself in this language, and then you go, my name is Matthew. You'll go, and then they'll be like, say whatever languages. I'm not gonna demonstrate that because I don't know the language. And then they go, boom, done.
Wow.
So
yeah, nice. Yeah,
you can't.
I've seen it. I've heard a few variations. I mean, I forget people's name like straight away, so I've just had to make up different ways of doing that.
Yeah.
Especially like when I was like working like school camps and stuff, and then we would all like compete to try and remember names, and I was the leader that was really bad at that. And I'd be like, just say something random like, so how do you spell your full name? And just like they just start doing it like
B-O-B.
yeah, Bob. Yeah, okay. I was thinking it was like a silent P or something. No, cool.
Oh yeah, I used to. I'm really good with faces, but I'm terrible with names. So I would just do the hey man, hey mate, hey bro, hey and then I'd sort of wait for someone to mention, like be talking to them, and I'd wait to pick up their name.
Yeah, true.
So it's like they go blah 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 Matt, and I go yeah Matty, yeah, how you going? And I'd act casual like, oh yeah, I knew it the whole time.
And then forget it 5 minutes later.
No, because once I got it, it would stick.
Oh.
But sometimes they go, this is blah 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 blah,
Yeah.
and then So
no, I've found one way that works as well is like you just like find something that rhymes with their name. Like it'd be like Dave, Rave. I'll just say that a bunch of times in my head. Done.
Raven David.
What if their name's Orange?
You got to say, oi, Rave. Oh, yeah, damn it.
Sterling's a hard one, though. I don't know. Maybe I'd be like Sterl, Twirl.
Stills get the girls.
With the curls.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that would work.
That's good. That's a good one. Anyone else have any life hacks?
I did have one, actually. I brought
Awesome.
a prop.
Oh, get that prop out.
Go. So, basically, this one I read in a... I'll just try and... I'll stand
Love a
here.
good visual prop.
Yeah, I'll stand here. This is good. I brought a towel. I don't know how I'm going to do it. Maybe someone's going to have to hold this microphone or something.
That's all right. I'll hold it for you.
Cool. Or I could yell.
Do you want me to like hold it to your... Like,
Yeah, basically, after you've gone for a surf or something, I read this in a surf magazine ages ago, and like your boardies are just soaked, and you want to like.
Oh, I know what you're doing.
Oftentimes, like when I've like gone for a bodyboard or a surf or something, and then I want to go get something to eat, and I'm like, I didn't bring a change of clothes, and so like one way you can like dry your boardies, like not completely, but 90%, is like what you do. You get your towel, and you wrap it around, like so, and you wrap it like as tight as you can. Pull it right around, tuck it in, and then you basically squat down a bit. You like tuck it in at the back, tuck it in at the front like this, and then just like squat down like you're doing a bush poo. Just like stay there for a bit. And then, trust me, you get up and your boardies will be like
It works.
so dry.
That's awesome.
Works every time.
there you go.
That's really good.
Funny thing about that, like, so I taught my friends that. I don't know where I learnt it, but someone taught me that. And I taught my school friends that. And then one of my friends, she was doing it, and so she squat the towel split down on the back. So I'm always so conscious when I'm doing that I don't split the towel.
Don't buy $2 towels, kids.
Yeah,
Yeah, true.
get the bougie ones. But it does work, hey.
Definitely. Yeah.
Like, it's not fully dry, but like it's
It's
so much.
surprising.
You know what?
The damnness,
Yeah.
it's
That actually makes sense because the towel would absorb the moisture and obviously the water, and that would sort of probably...
And because you're like tucking it like in the back and in the front, and then you bend down like holding that, it's like extremely tight. Like it's hard to bend down because
Yeah.
it's like wearing like 3 pairs of skinny jeans or something, and then it just like soaks up all the water.
yeah, but the tip is it's got to be like super tight.
Yeah.
But then you don't want it so tight that you.
That you rip it.
Rip it.
Yeah.
You don't want cut off circulation.
Oh, it really does work.
We'll have to amputate your legs.
Where's Jimmy? He's like there. He's like on the on the floor.
My
He's like,
boardies are
Jimmy."
so dry, but I can't walk.
Yeah, anyway.
All right. And on that note, does anyone else have any more life hacks?
I've got like a look. People saying it's wrong, but I've heard that with Nutella, apparently in the cap. I don't know if this is new or not, but I've seen videos that there's a little like compartment within the cap, and if you pull like this little sleeve thing back, there's a little knife that helps you cut the plastic sleeve that like
What?
holds the
Wow.
Nutella.
I
So
never
I don't
knew
know.
that.
So if you get a Nutella
I'm gonna have to
jar,
have a look.
try that. And tell me if the myth is busted or not, but I've heard it's a thing.
But don't take any of those Nutella jars to school kids.
Yes, nut allergies. Yeah, do not do
Definitely not.
And also knives. All right, so that was life hacks. Hope you guys enjoy that. If you have any life hacks, make sure you send them in. We'd love to talk to you about your life hacks and find out what life hacks you guys have got. Otherwise, we'll have some more for you guys next week. All right, now we're going to go into our live question that we put out to you guys today on Instagram. So today's question we had was, why are friendships so important? Now, this week in our RPM Zoom, we talked about friendships and the importance of friendships, obviously, especially in general everyday life. But the fact that where we're at the moment as a society and as a country, it's incredible how important friendships are. And so one of the responses that I'm going to mention tonight was from one of our youth, Elsie, and she wrote that the question was, why are friendships so important? And she wrote, so we can have someone to turn to in tough times, and so someone can turn to us in their tough times. So I thought that was really, really cool.
Yeah.
So obviously in the Bible there was lots of talks of friendship and there was lots of different friendships throughout the Bible, and they talked about the positives of that. And we know that with the pandemic that's going on at the moment, friendships provide us with help and support and happiness and peace of mind and that sort of thing. So we're going to dive into that, but I just thought I'd quickly read 2 Bible verses that I think really capture the strength of friendships, like I said, generally, but also in this time that we're in at the moment. So in Proverbs 27, verse 17, it says, as iron sharpens iron, so a friend sharpens a friend. And that's obviously talking about having that friendship builds each other up, and you guys can be accountable to one another and improve each other in a really sort of positive way. And in Ecclesiastes chapter 4, verses 9 to 10, it says, 2 people are better off than one, for they can help each other succeed. And verse 10 says, if one person fails, the other can reach out and help. But someone who falls alone is in real trouble. And I thought that was, quite powerful, because I don't think they're talking about even the physical act of falling. I think it's, it can be a mental thing, could be a spiritual thing. There's obviously a lot of meat in those 2 different verses. So I just want to ask the panel, and feel free to answer at any time, why do you guys think, not only for yourselves but for the youth that are watching tonight, why do you think friendships are so important?
I think because we're made to be relational beings. We're not meant to be isolated and alone. When you are isolated and alone for long periods of time, psychologically, it's not very healthy for you. So, just nature itself and the way we're designed, the way God's designed us to be relational, is really important. And as Elsie was saying, absolutely, because friends are there to help you through the hard times, and vice versa. But as well as just enjoying each other's company, and doing stuff together. I think having friends is really important for our mental health, especially, and just to help each other grow and keep each other accountable.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think the accountability thing is a really, really important thing, because I think especially where we're at the moment, I've spoken to friends over the last couple of weeks, and some are doing okay and some are not doing very well. And I think that accountability thing is really, really important, because it's these sort of times, especially for people like myself, who I'm a very social person. So for myself, if I'm not around people and I'm not sort of feeding off that energy, sometimes that energy in my head can go down. And I know that some of you guys are the same. Or you might be really sporty and you like to run around and, play soccer, basketball, footy, whatever. So I think in these sort of times, whatever your personality type is or wherever you're at, having that accountability with one another can be really, really important. What about you, Stel? Why do you think friendships are so important?
I think you have your best memories with your friends, and I don't know, you don't want to just remember being, the fun and the joyful times by yourself. It's just good to have a friend to have fun with and make those memories with, because I think some of the best memories people have are with their friends. So,
yeah, it's really true. What about you, Gumby?
I think I'm similar to you, Dave, where I just go crazy if I can't go out and do social stuff. Just hang out with mates and go to the skate park and just be doing something, physically. And I get my energy from people. So it's I think it's important just to kind of be able to get out of your own head as well. Spending too much time alone with your thoughts, unless you're praying, that's fantastic. But there's a big difference between praying and seeking God and just sort of just, just giving in to negative thoughts and stuff. I've found it insanely helpful to call up a mate when I'm feeling like that and going through stuff, and oftentimes you tell them what's going on or whatever, and they give you a different perspective, and it's so refreshing to just have your mate as a sounding board in that conversation, to kind of just go am I going crazy, I'm going through this stuff, and they can just help you find the right healthy perspective.
That's amazing. And I agree with you 100%, Gumby. I think that, I think to be honest, the people I know that have been struggling the hardest are the ones that have gone into their shell and they haven't really reached out to people. They've sort of thought, oh yeah, I'm sweet, got my TV, got my computer, got my PlayStation, whatever. But you can only do that for so long, and then after a while, you start getting in your head, and you could be, perfectly fine with your mental health and stuff like that. But I think, yeah, like you said, Matty, I think we're wired to be in, and we're wired to be around each other. We're wired to hang out, have that fellowship, and and I think it's really important that, whether you're an introvert or an extrovert, whether you love being on your own or whether you love being around people, I think this time especially, I think it's really important that even if it's just once a week, text one of your friends, give them a phone call, or if you're not very good at starting conversations, even just send a text message out. You can, call any of us anytime and just say, look, can you just give us a call once a week, or can you pray for me, or whatever. But we're here for you guys, and we want you guys to know that you're not on your own, you're not alone, and it's much more easier to deal with, bad thoughts or loneliness or anxiety or anything what you're doing in numbers. And there's that expression, strength in numbers, and I think that's really important for this time of year.
No, that's good.
So what do you think can happen if we shut out our friends and we just focus on, being online, playing our computers or gaming or stuff like that? What do you reckon can be some of the negative things that can happen, especially this time of what we're going through?
One thing I've noticed when it comes to like spending too much time, looking at a screen, like hours on YouTube or gaming or something, is like, you can kind of like just be watching something for ages, and then come out of it and like almost like come back into like your life and your normal life and feel like your life is really boring or something, because you were like just distracting yourself with all this stuff. And it's so important to like invest time and invest effort in your actual life and the relationships that still exist, even though you can't go and see them physically, but they're still there, and your friends are still your friends. You know what I mean? It's not like it's very easy to like slip into like, oh man, I'm not seeing any of my friends. Like I don't have any friends or something, which is just, I fully get that thought, but that's why we need to like be reaching out. And I've nothing wrong with like, nothing against like gaming and stuff. Like I play Xbox and that, but it's just important to like keep it in perspective.
Yeah, I think it's a balance.
Yeah.
And I say that to a lot of you guys, and I've spoken with some of you guys before about this. Like, there's nothing wrong with, watching a bit of TV. Like we mentioned some TV shows that we like to watch, and I watched 2 episodes of The Last Dance this week, and there's nothing wrong with jumping on and playing a bit of PlayStation or Xbox or whatever. But I think everything in moderation. I think everything, if we can spend time with God and spend time with our friends, whether it be on Zoom or over a phone call or anything like that, I think having that healthy balance of humans versus technology, I think can be a real help in this sort of time of what we're going through. So just finally, what can we do for our friends, during this pandemic? Obviously some are doing okay and some aren't doing that well. What would be some suggestions for all our viewers at home that you guys could maybe recommend that we can do for our friends in this time?
One thing I was thinking was that we don't only sort of think like, I know being like a people person, like sometimes I'm like just super like self-centered and I don't even realize it or whatever, and I'm thinking about my own problems. So it's important for us to like, reach out when we need help, but also realize that some personality types like struggle to like ask for help and reach out. So it's important for you to be checking in on your mates, even if you haven't heard from like, or they haven't said they're going through like a difficult time or whatever. Sometimes it's like helps them to just be like, hey, how you doing? Like, what's going on? Where's your head at? And that opens the doorway for them. So I think that's one thing that we can definitely be doing.
Yeah, so start the conversation.
Yeah,
100%.
I
think that's really, really important. Sometimes, you might be a naturally shy person anyway, but even if you're full in that category, just one text message, that's all you need, or one instant message or one Facebook message or whatever, like that can start that conversation and just let that person know that you haven't forgotten about them. What about you, Maddie?
I mean, yeah, it's kind of hard at the moment to obviously because of quarantine and all that sort of stuff. But I mean, yeah, reaching out to people, but also even just dreaming with your friends, like because this quarantine's not going to last forever. So why you don't have to be in a negative mindset. You could be with your friends. Oh, once this is over, like, oh, I'm so hitting the beach. You want to come? Like, you just plan stuff.
Yeah, true.
And dream about, and also what we talked about before, reminiscing about shared experiences like what Stell shared. Like, that's super cool. I love like just getting together with a couple of mates and just, I remember this and this and this. It's really cool and it's a really powerful thing and it builds that connection as well. So, yeah, I think it just takes effort to reach out. Whether it be by text or instant message, phone call, or whatever, and just have a chat, see how they're going. How simple as that. Oh, how are you holding up, man? How you going? And wherever you can accommodate the need for someone, you do that. Yeah.
And you can even do things like, for example, if you guys are into music, why don't you set yourself a challenge and say, all right, by the time this is all over, we're going to write a song. Like one of us can play the guitar, one of us can write the lyrics, whatever. Or you might be into writing and you might think, hey, let's start writing a book. Or, there's lots of things you guys are into that don't involve sport or don't involve, whatever. And I think there's lots of practical things that you could do, or it could be learning a new language, or it could be, we're going to do an artistic piece where you do one half and I'll do the other half, and then, when we're allowed to catch up, we'll put them together and see what it makes or whatever. Or, yeah, I think there's lots of things. I mean, we're very blessed in Australia that we have so much resources and technology with iPads, computers. It's so easy to, and so many programs and apps and stuff where you can do a lot of creative stuff. And instead of just thinking, all right, I'm just going to wake up today and watch 8 hours of TV, think, all right, what can I do today that that I haven't done before? What's something I've always wanted to do that I've never had the time or the and you can go on YouTube and learn pretty much anything. Like, I know a guy that learned how to play the guitar on YouTube. I know lots of people learn how to cook, bake, all sorts of stuff you can learn off YouTube. So you don't have to pay any money. It's just finding something that you're really passionate about and just going for it.
That's the trick, hey? Like finding something that you enjoy. Because you'd be surprised. You'll just stumble upon something random, like knitting. Sterling loves knitting.
Love knitting.
Like, and then you'd just be knitting just scarves for everyone.
He knitted that jumper he's wearing now.
Yeah, knitted it. Send it off to
Incredible.
a couple stores that are selling it, just making good business. Like
Calvin Klein
taking
wants
advantage
it.
of this time,
Calvin Klein's already put an offer in.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, and I think that's important. Finding something you're passionate about, something that you love, and just going for it. And I think one other thing I just want to throw in there is pray. So for those of you that do pray, I really recommend to pray for your friends. And I know I've been praying for not just my friends that are struggling at the moment, but all my friends, like, because you just never know what they're going through physically, mentally, spiritually. So yeah, if part of your daily routine is, hey, I'm just going to pray for all my good friends, and I'm going to pray for, our church leaders, going to pray for my teachers. I know that sounds crazy, but just pray for people, and you never know how supportive that can be.
Yeah, it's awesome.
All right, so we're going to pray now, and we hope that's helps you guys and encourage you guys. And next week on our Zoom chat on Tuesday night at 7 p.m, we're going to go into a little bit deeper with the whole friendships thing. But hopefully that's encouraging you guys. And if you have any questions with that, or you have any comments or anything like that, feel free to hit us up on Instagram or Facebook or whatever. And we'd be more than happy to give you some more ideas or whatever. But we'd love to see some ideas of some stuff that you guys have done. One of the ideas we floated around last Tuesday was to encourage all our youth to come up with a new talent in this place of isolation, and then we could do like a talent contest for all the new talents.
Oh, that'd be sick.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So maybe we should do that. We could do it. We could call it Isolation's Got Talent.
That's a good.
I like that.
That is good.
That's cool.
All right.
ISO's got talent.
ISO's Got Talent. All right, done.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it out for you girls and boys who are watching now. I want you guys to learn something new between now and when we have our very first youth night, and then the first youth night back that we are here, we're going to have a talent contest. And I don't know what we can do yet, but I'll make sure that we put up a really big prize, more than what we've normally done, and we'll give it away to the person
You
that's...
win a Tesla.
A Tesla!
Are you paying for that? Or?
Yeah, so
Like a
Sterling
giraffe
and the Chapels are going to pay for that, so thank you for the Chapels for that donation.
You're very well.
Thanks, guys.
But no, in all seriousness, I will work with the team and we'll have a chat with Phil and see what we can do. But we will put up a really good prize. So for those of you that are watching, start learning something new. Could be a guitar, could be a musical instrument, could be DJing, could be painting, whatever. You
Knitting.
start working on it now. And hey, if you're the only person, if you're the only person that does it, well then you're going to automatically win. So you might as well give it a go. All right, so we'll do that. First night back from youth, we'll have our ISO's Got Talent competition. And you'll be in the running for a big prize. All right, so we've locked that in. Now we're going to pray, and then we'll finish tonight's podcast. Lord, we thank you so much that we can meet here tonight and pass on our knowledge with friendship, but also what the Bible says about friendship as well. And Lord, I just pray that if there's anyone watching this right now that is struggling, whether it's physically, mentally, or spiritually, that you would just really fill them with your love tonight and make them known that how much you love them. And I pray, Lord, that one of their friends will reach out to them and show them that love. And we just thank you, Lord, that you've given us the opportunity to have friends and friendships. And Lord, you know that even Jesus, when he was on earth, that he had many, many friends, and it's just such a powerful thing that we can have in our lives. But I just pray, Lord, that everyone will feel friendships this week, and that they will, either reach out to someone or someone will reach out to them, and they'll just feel loved and see the importance of the friendships that we can have. And we thank you, Lord, for this opportunity to do this podcast and for everyone that's watching tonight. Amen.
Amen.
All right, so we're going to finish off like we normally do with our meme of the week. Does anyone have an awesome meme that they want to share? Anyone?
I don't know. It's not really a meme.
That's all right. Or just a
Share it.
joke.
Don't be scared. Don't be shy. Put some more.
I don't know, because like obviously people have birthdays during the isolation period, and I saw that you can get like a little meme kind of T-shirt saying that you've had a birthday like in like the Corona birthday or something like that.
That's
Spending
awesome.
your time at home, and it's got a little cartoon COVID.
That's so good.
If anyone's having a birthday coming up, that's what you get them. As long it has their ages too, so I don't know if you can get a generic one, but if they're turning like the same age as the T-shirt, preferably. Otherwise,
That's cool.
Yeah.
You could say, I had my birthday through the COVID pandemic and all I got was this shirt.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Anyone else?
I did find one that I thought was pretty funny. We'll have to
Share.
put it up on the podcast so you guys can see. But it's like, it says, when you help your parents with technology and you don't flip out on them, and it's got like Jesus like sitting there in like little like business suit with a computer, and it's like, I am eternal love, patience, and kindness. The amount of times I've had to
Literally me this morning helping mum figure out the PDFs now that everyone's having to fill stuff out. Mum's like, how do I do that on my iPad? I was like, oh, goodness.
yeah.
Jesus, give me strength.
I remember when my dad first got an iPhone, and he's like, why does the battery keep like going down? It only lasts like half a day. And then I like open up, he's got like 35 tabs open that he's had open for like a week.
That's gold.
Oh, classic.
So, look, guys, thank you so much for tuning in again. This is episode 4 of the No Filter Friday podcast. We hope you guys enjoyed it, and we hope you guys got something from it and enjoyed all the fun. We will be back same time again, 7:30 next Friday night for episode 5, and we will have a special guest, so you'll have to wait and see who that will be, but it will be very, very cool. So we hope you guys have a great weekend, and feel free to contact us anytime on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube, but otherwise we hope you guys have a great time in isolation. Stay safe, and we'll see you next week.
Later.
Bye. Goodbye for now, but not forever.
Hey guys, don't forget to like and subscribe to Instagram. Make sure you hit the bell for YouTube, yeah? And get to the chopper! Oh, he's so rough.